Not everything in life is obvious. Sometimes the problems that we have to face are hidden. They're not right in plain sight. If you follow the videos, you'll know that this summer I went through and changed the water pump on this. So I changed the water pump, all the gaskets, hoses, antifreeze, the whole thing. I wanted to do it right. A couple weeks or so after that, it was leaking again. Pulled everything off, tightened it all back up. Leaking even more after that. Couldn't figure out what was going on, so I backed it into the barn, and I found the leak was directly under the oil pan. So I looked under there. There was no water running off the front to the back. It was going straight down. And as I looked, it was right behind these header tubes right here. You couldn't even see it. And so mechanic had suggested just to take an air hammer and go into the side, and that thing would turn and open like a window. And so you can see it did just that. It turned it like that, and you're able to pull it out. The one that was bad and the one that was behind that header, look how bad that looked. Had a couple of holes in it, and it was seeping water. So got the new ones in there now, going to put everything back together, and going to solve that. So sometimes finding the real problem is quite a search. Sometimes you never find it, and it's extremely frustrating. In our devotional today, we have a situation to where Jacob is sensing that he's kind of being pushed out of the family, that they're seeing that God is really blessing him. And so there's this tension that's there. So he talks to his wives about this. God, in the meantime, had instructed him to leave. And so when Laban went to shear the sheep, he left. Now, why did he leave at that juncture? Well, later on, when he talks to Laban, he says it's fear was the motivation. And that is kind of sad, because it should have been the obedience of God. But he told Laban he feared him. And so this is interesting, because you saw this earlier, that he fled his family because of the fear of Esau, and now he's fleeing for the fear of Laban. And so there is a theme that you see there, and it's really kind of sad. He could have just said, because God told me. So they all leave. Laban finds out about it. He chases after them. And while he is chasing after them, in a dream, God tells him not to harm him. So he catches up with him, finds him, and it's easy to catch up, because you have to see that Jacob has got all of his herds and everything. Laban is traveling light. And so catch up with him, and he confronts him. And he says, you've taken my daughters, you've taken my herds, and then he goes, you've taken my gods. So we don't understand that idea of, like, you've taken my daughters, you already gave them in marriage. You've taken the herds, you gave those to him. As a patriarch, this is the kind of understanding that he would have. And so anyway, there's this exchange between Laban and Jacob, and it's really interesting, and you should really read this whole account. It's great. Then you see, he says, we'll go search. And so he goes and he searches through everything. This is Laban looking through everything. But you see that Rachel is setting up on some furniture that the gods are in, says that, hey, it's my monthly time, and so they don't disturb her. She hides that. What's the motivation? The devotionalist had a great line on that maybe she was going to be homesick or whatever. I don't know. I think it's very interesting that Rachel would send him to her family, and her family are worshiping these idols. You can see the messes up on top of messes. Some of it is obvious, some of it is hidden. But we're going to see that through all of this, that God begins to reveal the truth. The light shines on the darkness, and men have to give an account. In our world today, you see the same thing. There is all kinds of things lurking behind that we can't always see. And like this freeze plug, they're rather grotesque. But I want to tell you that just as this was revealed, when I had to look at the situation differently, The things in this world are going to be revealed, and people are going to have to give an account to God. So, don't lose hope. Keep pressing on. The problem will be revealed. God will show it. Let us keep looking to the Lord. Let us have not only the faith, but also the courage to let people know I'm doing what I'm doing because God told me to do it. And other things, let's not do that. Amen. God bless you. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow.